Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a very unbingo-y rack and an unbalanced rack with only one vowel. Nice start for opponent. What can I do? I'm drawn to column 5, playing through this E. But what's the best I can do there? It's tricky to play off my J in that spot. And I'd like to do something about DDGH. What do I have? Well, I have dodge or dodger. Let me see what that looks like. 18 points. Doesn't provide anything massively helpful for opponent. Rack leave is okay. There are vowels on the board and I should draw some. Can I do better than this? And maybe I can. Maybe I can place my H over this I. That's 28 points. But I'm keeping a lot more consonants, but providing a lot less for my opponent. Tricky. This is a pretty clunky 4-letter set, and if opponent just plays in row F, a parallel play, there might be slim pickings for me. So 28 points. 18 points. I'm going with the lower score. Great, I draw the first blank. Rest of the rack not so great, but I do have 2 vowels this time. And the I is currently available for my H. Remains available, as does this spot next to the C. So I have something quite nice. I can play Hauff to get rid of almost all my junk. Great score, 45 points. Hauff takes an F and an S, but the other F has been played. And I have a blank which could be an S. So I think this is the play. Hauff for 45. I draw the X to go along with the J, so a succession of very non-bingo-y racks. And we are neck and neck, just 1 point between us. I'm going to struggle. Well, I was going to say I'm going to struggle to play off the J and the X, but I do have Jinx on my rack, which also sorts out the duplicate N. Nowhere for that play on the board at the moment. I do have Jin in column 6, which scores quite nicely. That remains available. Nowhere for Jinx. Just looking in column 2 to see if I've got a play beginning with J, ending in E. And I don't. Just confirming that in my mind. And momentarily contemplating Janny, but I think that's only with a Y. So this is what I was thinking of. 40 points, big score, and Rackley pretty good, ANX. And the blank. So Jin for 40. Well, another non-bingo-y rack. But Vax is good. So I may be able to get rid of the V and the X. And if I can, then my Rackley will be bingo-y. Through an I would have... Well, would I have vaxing? I don't think vax is a noun. A verb rather, so I don't think I would have vaxing. In any event, no I currently available. I could use the blank as an I to get an ing ending, but I can't see any 8s with the remainder of the rack. I do have Vax in column 6 for a fairly lowly score. But the advantage of playing Vax for whatever score is to get rid of all of the non-bingo-y tiles. Now that spot goes, and opponent does not provide anything to replace it. So I need to think of something else. Chiv is good. I don't have to play off the V and the X. It just would be nice if I could. Just wondering if I have any nice plays through this I and overlapping J and Chi. So ANG fits in that spot. I could play vinyl. No. Do I have anything down here? It would need to end AN. So let me see what's left on my rack. Not seeing anything which works there. 15 minutes on my clock. Hon takes a G, but I don't have any plays beginning ANG. So actually quite a tricky position to be in. And this is often what happens when opponent makes a play which creates nothing. Hon doesn't take anything in front that I have. I can't see a play ending in E. Wow, this is really frustrating. I feel I'm wasting time here because I've got no candidate plays in mind. So what about an overlapping play beginning GA? I think I do need to play off one of V and X. Not seeing anything. Wow, this is a strange position to be in. Well, what about this? Vega for 23. I think that's just about okay and the best I've seen. Okay, rack slowly getting better. Still not a single E this game for me. No duplicates though, and a balanced rack. So I could be close to a bingo here. The X, the only fly in the ointment. And no good X spots on the board, which is maybe why I've hung on to it. Still 3 S's and a blank to come, so column 9 quite hot given the Kefir's hook. But that would be a face value bingo, so not ridiculously big. Just 14 points between us, but opponent on turn, so he does have a slight advantage. Okay, nice score for opponent, 43 points. Do any of these floaters give me a bingo? This looks close to a bingo. And AI, N and D all look promising. So I have, well, I would have laxation through an A or an I. Nothing's available in the right place. There's also ID and NO to consider, so I would have a non-word. Not seeing anything there, not seeing anything going through ID. T and E available. I'm going to quickly run through the alphabet. I've got 13 minutes. And I don't have any floater in mind. I'm just seeing if this prompts an 8. So the E, generally a useful tile. I would have the X beginning, exfoliant, aflatoxin through A and I, gonal ending, still not seeing anything, klaxon as a 6, that's the non-prefix. Poly, well, axon, but not taxon. I could be missing something here. This is quite a tantalising rack, and with the blank you've effectively got 26 candidate racks. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything. I have to get rid of the X now. Where can I do that? Nothing goes between Hon and P, so I can't get the X to play twice in this spot. I'd quite like to leave these floaters alone. Thon is good, but I can't play the X there. So what about playing Vax? I'm burning my S hook in column 9, but I'm not seeing anywhere else to get more than 20 points for the X. Jarl is good, but I can't play the X there. And the blank provides a lot of flexibility. It doesn't have to be the S, so I may be stopping my opponent from bingoing in column 9. I am going with this. Great, I draw vowels. And although I still don't have an E, this looks pretty promising. Certainly the most bingo-y rack I've had to date. I haven't seen a bingo yet. I have the out prefix. I have the un prefix. I have created a bingo lane in row F. Now, opponent creates a double-double lane, column 11, and only scores 22 points. I trail by about 60. Can I claw something back? So this rack plus an I. Just pausing in case something immediately jumps to mind. I'd quite like to save time if I could. I needs to be in second or third place. Okay. So abutylon, ablution, and abutylon does go, so I am bingoing. But it's not a double-double. That would have been not quite duathlon. Well, it would have been duathlon onto a D. Still not seeing anything through this I as a double-double. How about this? A word beginning QUI perhaps? Nothing. Close to aliquant. 9 minutes on my clock, 42 tiles to come. But quite a critical moment. Wow, that looks like there could be something, but it's not coming to mind. Luxation, well, that also goes. Not sure about zonulate. So I'm not seeing a double-double, so do I have a triple beginning with E or ending in T? Wow, outlearned is a 9-letter play, so that doesn't work. There's going to be quite a big difference between ablution and a play in column 1 or row O. The E play, what might that look like? Difficult to see. Column 1 could end ANT. I've got the auto prefix. Okay, nothing's coming to mind. I think I'll go with luxation. 464. And I draw the second blank with a ton of vowels. And I lead by 8 points. So, can I carry on with the bingo? This would be a 5 out 8. They're always tricky to spot. Certainly not seeing a 7, but a 7 might well go in column 12. The available floaters: L, X, P. What about the P? That feels like there could be an epi word. Ah, it has to begin with a P. N, not seeing anything. T, not looking promising. While my opponent is thinking about playing, I'm going to run through the alphabet. See if anything leaps into my mind. Nothing has so far. And I've only got 1 point tiles, so if I don't bingo, I'm not going to be scoring much. So I have the QU. Can't see a bingo. That looks like there could be something, but I'm not seeing it. Not as a 7, but component part of an 8. No, not seeing anything. So, how to sort this rack out? I guess playing off O and U, possibly E as well. Where are the scoring tiles on the board? I've got nothing to hook jar. Can't use the Q. What about the X? Well, I'd have to burn my N, which I don't mind doing, but I'd like to take quite a few vowels with it. If opponent doesn't play in row A, and I think he might, I have Louis. I think that would be my preferred play, playing off O-U-I-E. And I have Uoi on my rack, so if Louis is blocked, and it's not, interesting. 46 points for opponent, which is a good score. He retakes the lead. Do I have a 9 ending I-Z-E? Don't think so. So, Louis for 18. I have Townlet on my rack, nowhere for it. But this looks quite promising. I know the W is not a bingo-y tile, but the rest of the rack is. So, is there something here? 7 minutes on my clock, 29 tiles to come. And again, I am looking for 7s. Not seen anything so far. Still nothing. That's the non-prefix. I have, well, town on my rack, but that's not prompted anything. No, I'm not seeing anything. Well, I could be missing something. I have the unprefix beginning with the U. I'm not seeing many prefixes, suffixes, or component words with the W, so I don't think the W goes that well with this set. Great, less than 20 for opponent. So I trail by 40, but I have the blank, so I'm in good shape. What about this rack plus an A? 7 minutes on my clock. Not seeing anything. Nothing goes in front of ZE. So, how can I play off the W and sort the rack out? And is there definitely nowhere for Townlet? Not seeing anything. Anything beginning with in. I'm really mindful of the time now. Anything beginning A or P? No. So I do need to burn the W. So I could play wet, 4 E's to come, but the rack leave's terrible. I'd like to... LN and T are good tiles, but I don't really like all of them together at one time, because if they get duplicated, it's unbingo-y. So I could play Waxen for 22. That just invites a big row D play. I don't like that. Can't see anything beginning WU. So what about just playing WO for 18? This is quite a good 5-letter set. I am behind, so I don't wish to expedite the end of the game, and I am running low on time. I'm going with this. Great, that looks super bingo-y. Do I have one? Column 1 is available for bingos ending AT. Can't see one. Opponent has taken out row O as a bingo lane. What about column 15 beginning with E? Not seeing anything. So what about a play in column 12 beginning PE? I think I have pen light. That will do the job. That remains available. Is there a better play I need to look for? Not sure there is. And this will buy some time. Pen light for 75. Quite a nice pickup. Close to a bingo. Still quite a few S's to come. Remaining tiles very bingo-y, so my lead of 20 odd points or 30 points, pretty vulnerable. Not too many 7-letter lanes on the board. What about 8s through the A? Not seeing anything. Or beginning with the E, not seeing anything. So I'm looking to use my V and Y for score. What about column 10? Well, not seeing anything down. Opponent takes that spot. So 5 minutes on my clock. Just 1 point between us. 10 tiles in the bag. I can play Yi for 27, a decent score, decent rack leave. I guess column 13 is a bingo lane with a multiple overlap. Yi provides nothing, and it's blocking opponent's use or ability to bingo, and I am effectively a tempo ahead. I'm going with this. Am I? I might not. I am. So I should have checked remaining vowels. Let me do so now. 8 out of 15, so there are quite a lot of vowels to come. I could play verts. This rack is now not bingo-y. Part of the plan of playing Yi was maybe to bingo. I'm a long way from that. But I do have a lead, so if opponent doesn't bingo, I think I'd just like to turn over tiles and score about 20 odd points and try and crush the game. So a play of verts would be quite nice. It would give nothing away. And it would take out 3 bingo lanes. Lex is good. Don't have a play ending Ox. I could play Vexed, and still can. 4 minutes on my clock. So, 4 tiles in the bag. Quite like to play off 3. This does exactly the same job as Verts in terms of taking out bingo lanes. 24 points is a decent score. If I pick up 2 or 3 vowels, I'm in great shape in terms of bingoing. And I lead by 10 at the moment. This will give me a 30-point lead. Has opponent created a new bingo lane? He has, but not many tiles go in front of you. The Y does, but that's it, and there aren't many bingos beginning Y. I'm going with vexed. Well, I don't draw well. And opponent may have a bingo, but if he doesn't, he's got all 1-point tiles and may be swamped with vowels, so he may struggle to score, and he trails by 34 points. And if he doesn't, great. And one of my concerns about playing the vexed move was the creation of a high-scoring opportunity in row D, but opponent has no high-scoring tiles to take advantage of that opportunity. And I could play there. I could play tell, and I may have a longer play with the I under the D. I don't think retilt is good. Relit is good, I think. Opponent is going to empty the bag. But I think if he bingos, he wins. Now I've got the Y for going next to the U. But I'm not going to see any more vowels. So if opponent doesn't bingo, I am quite attracted to row D because I may be able to play there and be able to go out in 2. I think if I play in column 2, I'm going to struggle to go out in 2. And in any event, I'm not actually seeing any YI words on my rack. So, opponent has created a bingo lane. He can bingo in that lane. He's got Ariest, Aristi, etc. He doesn't have anything beginning with the E. He doesn't have anything ending AT. So, I need to take out this spot and not create a new one. How can I do that? Let me see what this looks like. I think if I stop opponent bingoing, I win. So there are 3 bingos here. There's Aristi. Doesn't play. What are the other 2? Well, they're not coming to mind. I thought there were 3 with this rack. I may be confusing it with another rack. Maybe it is just Aristi. So, I don't remember, but if another play worked, how would it go? It could begin S, A, or E. There's definitely not that. Aristi Asteria. That doesn't go. And Atresia. Grief. Took me a while to find. None of those goes. So, 1 minute on my clock. I think Stilty works. Do I have 2 spots to go out with the R? I have ER. And I have ER off the E of Penlight. So I think Stilty does the job. Does it do the best job? I can do better than that because nothing hooks NUS. So I think I can just play Stilty here for 25. I need to be confident that there isn't a bingo beginning with E. I am confident. Nothing hooks NUS. 50 odd seconds on my rack. Any other bingo lanes? Just checking nothing goes in front of you that opponent's got, and nothing does. So, what about this T of luxation? Does opponent have a play? This rack plus a T? I don't think he does. I'm going with Stilty. Now, what I didn't check is that I've still got 2 spots for my R, but I do ER and then ER under the E of vexed. and there's re onto the E of Keech. I lead by 56. I think that does the job, unless I have overlooked a bingo, which would be remiss, unless it's in a part of the board which I couldn't block, given that I had to block Aristi in column 14. Opponent could have a play ending in IZE. Not seeing such a play. Opponent has 8 minutes on his clock, and I just have a few seconds on mine. So I should look for the best spot for my R. ER is 2, is 4, ERAR is 8. So 8 points is the best I've seen so far. Still nothing better. Yeah, so it's ER and AR. Ryu is good, but the V stops that. Fran isn't good. I wonder, I just realised I didn't spend terribly long looking for a bingo on my stilty rack. It didn't look particularly promising, but I guess it's possible there was one there. We'll find out soon. So 7 minutes on opponent's rack. He has given up. He's blocked AR, ER. I've still got ERD, and I'm playing that for 4 points. And the final score, 363 for my opponent, 406 for me, a winning margin of 43 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. He played Kefir, and I had this unbalanced rack. Jerd available. G7. Coming down through the eye of Kefir. Not bad. I played Dodger for 18, keeping HJ. And I think there's very little between those plays. I don't think either rack leave is great. And there's only 3 points difference in score. So HJ is probably negative, maybe minus 5 or 6. DGHO, maybe minus 4 or 5. So I think both plays are actually quite similar. Opponent's rack plays Keech. And now I have Hauff for 45, and that looks best. No vowels for opponent. Plays terms. And I played Gin for 40. That looks fine. Opponent gets rid of the Q, and at this point he's got a 30-point lead. I spent a while with this rack and eventually played Vega, and I quite like that G and V are not great tiles together. And GVX is one of those threesomes where you really are looking to get rid of 2 of them, or 3, and Vega does that. Nice score for opponent, 43 points. So, I'm 60 points behind, and I have the first blank. I thought that was a miss bingo. It's not, but it's a 58-point play, I2. And I don't like it. It's creating a very easy scoring spot in column 1, where opponent can triple his score and get value from the X. So, what did I do? I played Vax for 23, so that's a 35-point sacrifice, but since the X alone is worth 25 to 30 points, I prefer my play, and if it isn't the best, if it isn't better than Oxalate, it's very similar. Opponent's rack plays Moai, Now, I do have a bingo here. I played Luxation for 64 and I saw a Blution and a Butalon, but what was better, or higher scoring rather, non-adult, Rowan, Portulan, L8. So every single bingo play opened up a triple word square, and not a huge difference in scores, so reasonably happy with Luxation. Opponent plays Zoe, and now I have vowels. Louis is a nice way of getting rid of them and taking out a volatile lane, and I trail by 20. Opponent plays Bay. Now, did I have a bingo? I didn't. I play Woe. For 18, D12. I could have played Woe in this spot, but that would have burnt. Let me just go back and see the rack. Yeah, I do have a bingo rack, so I quite wanted to keep bingo lanes open. K9, want, actually would have been nice. These aren't great bingo lanes. The best one is column 12 and these floaters in Luxation. So, yeah, I think want might have been the play. The rack leave after Woe is quite good, but slightly vulnerable. Anyway, opponent's rack plays Beg, and I have a bingo, and I play Penlight, and I didn't see too much else, and looking at the scores, there wasn't too many more points on offer. D8, Palatine. Yeah, that's quite nice through the A of Luxation, but Penlight provides very, very little. Opponent's rack plays Cons. D3, very. Oh, that's quite nice, making Vid. Yeah, it is creating a new bingo lane, but the rack leaves pretty good. So I play YE, but I think a play getting rid of the V as well would have been better. Great rack for opponent. But no bingo. Plays Lord. And then my rack deteriorates. But I have a 10-point lead. So I play Vexed for 24, keeping RSTT. D9. Starved. I don't like that. Sticking the D in column 15. So reasonably happy with my play. Opponent's rack, no bingo, plays off one tile, which is the right thing to do. And I play Stilty for 25, that looks fine. No bingo for opponent, he plays Satiate, and I go out with Erd for 4. So, what a game, really, really close, very exciting and running into the end game. A lot of bingo-y tiles out there. But there was a shortage of bingo lanes, and there was a surfeit of vowels on my opponent's rack, fortunately for me. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.